because I started talking about vampire literature, now I have tons of other ideas about what I can talk about because this is one of my favorite subgenres of literature. Both the classical vampire stuff and the modern stuff. I read all of it. So I want to talk about Charlaine Harris just briefly with the Sookie Stackhouse series or the TV show True Blood. And those are different, right? The interpretation of certain things in the TV show is not the same as in the books. I legitimately enjoyed both. I read all of the books except I think the last two. Plus, I didn't read the sort of standalone spin offs or whatever, novellas, and legitimately liked both. But I don't really want to talk about Sookie Stackhouse. I want to talk about some lesser known series by Charlaine Harris. For example, her Midnight Texas series, which takes place in Texas, but in the same universe as Sookie Stackhouse. So there is at least one crossover character who plays a minor but pivotal role in one of the Midnight Texas books. It's a trilogy, there's only 3. These came out about 10 years ago. And I think they are a little bit lighter and easier to read than the Sookie Stackhouse books. I have noticed people rating things for spiciness, which I don't really know what that means. I think I would prefer to have a rating based on how explicit something is, which is maybe what they mean, but I will talk about maybe what my conception of a rating would be in a slightly different video. But I would say, yeah, I don't know, 2.5 out of 5 for me, right? There's only one real sex scene in the trilogy, and it comes in book number 3, and it's not that explicit. So anyhow, so I do recommend that trilogy. Actually, that was fun. That was a quick read, but it was really enjoyable. It was nice to revisit the world of Sookie Stackhouse a little bit. There are vampires, but the vampires are not necessarily the central characters. This is a definitely an ensemble work, and I like that, where there's, you know, a group of people who have their own roles to play, witches and etc. etc. So supernatural, yeah. So I recommend that one. Plus the Gunnie Rose series. So this is a series of 6 books to date. I've only read the first 3, so it's an ongoing series. Set in like the 1930s, probably, in a North American continent that has multiple countries. It already has multiple countries, but what is currently the United States of America in her universe is multiple countries. So, for example, the main character was a young woman named Lisbeth. I think she lives in a country called Texoma, and there's another country nearby called Dixie, and then the West Coast has been sort of taken over by immigrants from the Russian Empire, the fallen Russian Empire. I don't want to give away too many details. Anyhow, so it is in an alternative American past where magic exists, and it's a little bit of a Wild West West vibe, quote unquote Wild West vibe. Gunnie Rose, because the main character is a gunslinger. This is her job. There aren't any vampires that I remember, but the supernatural definitely exists and is important. And the universe is quite unique, and I'm enjoying it. And that's all I want to say about that. I recommend it, even though there are no vampires. Oh, yes, in terms of spiciness, because I did bring that up. There is more sex in this series compared to the Midnight Texas series, for example. Not super explicit, so for myself, I would put it on maybe a 3 out of 5 stars in terms of explicit descriptions. Violence, of course, because she's a gunslinger, so she does take people's lives. And then there are battles using magic, etc. I give it a 2 thumbs up though. So if you haven't tried this series and you only know Charlaine Harris for Sookie Stackhouse, I say check this one out.